In this video right here, we're going to do a quick little example of how to solve a linear equation, specifically with a fraction involved and where the variable is inside that fraction or attached to the fraction in some way. In this case, it's a part of the numerator with another number. And so we're just going to do an example of this and see how we can solve for h in this case here. Gladly go ahead and try this example on your own if you want, and then kind of follow along my instructions later on, or you can just follow along the instructions and kind of see how I solved this case here. In this one, the very first thing that we're going to do is try to get the fraction by itself, and to do that we need to get rid of the constant that is on the right hand side. The plus one there, again, part of what we've done in the past, or what I'm sure you've done in the past, is subtract it away, right? So, or add the opposite. In this case here, we're subtracting 1. When we do this, plus 1 minus 1 is going to cancel out. And on the left-hand side, we're going to be left with negative 3 because negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Next step is we've got to look at the fraction. Now, the fraction has a numerator, which is 3h, and a denominator, which is 4, and the entire fraction is negative. So at some point, we're going to have to either multiply or divide by a negative in order to get rid of that negative on the fraction, because h cannot be negative. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by doing a kind of a two-step process of removing the fraction. The first step I'm going to do is to multiply the fraction by the denominator, which means that that will cancel out and we're going to be left without a denominator. We're just going to have the numerator left. Now that denominator is 4, and I'm going to multiply by negative 4, because if we go by a negative, it's going to make that one positive, and then we don't have a negative anymore. It's also going to make the negative 3 a positive on the left-hand side, which means that we don't have any negatives, which makes things a little bit nicer. So when we multiply by negative 4, we're going to get 12 on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, that fraction now just becomes 3h, because we've multiplied by the denominator, and because we multiplied by a negative, it gets rid of the negative as well. At this point, we do our second step in getting rid of the fraction, and we need to divide by the coefficient, which is 3. Okay, so we divide by that, do it to every single term, or in this case, both terms. The 3's are going to cancel out beside the h, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, and so we get an answer of h is equal to 4. Gladly plug it back into the original equation to see if it all works. It should. But this is how we can solve for a variable by removing values around the h or around the variable. All the best as you work through your questions, and hopefully this one helped.